Namaskar. Welcome to Ancient Wisdom. We have in today's episode we will see one example of how half knowledge tends to become dangerous, and in the second part we'll try to understand how to know whether our knowledge is half knowledge or it is adequate knowledge. So, part 1 and part 2. In the part 1, we will look at Mao's policy of 4 pest control. In China, there were certain favorite policies which were implemented to the extent that the regime could, and these failed miserably or spectacularly. One of those campaigns was called as 4 pest campaign. 4 things were considered to be pests. These were rats, flies, mosquitoes and sparrows, and people were ordered to kill and get rid of these whenever and wherever they would be found. So, let us take sparrows because the overall picture is very broad to complete in 10 minutes. Sparrows are seen everywhere. They are not particularly beautiful. They don't have colored feathers or a beak that is unique or any other useful purpose as a beauty. They cannot be eaten because it is too small amount of flesh that they have. They cannot be really trained to do something like parrots can. They serve no useful purpose, and they eat grain, so have a negative influence on food supply. So, the logic is, if we get rid of them, we don't lose anything on one side, and on the other side we gain all the grain that they would have eaten. So many people would be able to feed themselves based on this. So, get rid of sparrows. How to do that? Again, very simple. Don't allow them shelter. Don't let their nest be created. If you see the nest, destroy the nest. If you see the sparrow, try to kill it. But even simpler, the moment you see a sparrow, and the sparrow has such a small body, within about 50 meters or so, it will fall down and die. It does not have that much strength in its wings. So, this became a favorite pastime of everybody. Adults, parents, old people, children, the moment they would see a sparrow, they would make it fly and soon it would die. This campaign was carried out for almost 18 months. And then they realized something else, something very interesting. The sparrow that they thought did not serve any purpose, did serve a purpose and served a great purpose. But how did the people come to know their folly? a great famine ensued. There was lack of food grains. Against the hypothesis that if there are no sparrows, there will be lot more excess gain or excess grain to eat. Whereas what actually happened was the productivity of the farms reduced drastically. Because they had not observed or not put into their calculation that sparrows do eat grains, but their main food is small worms. Worms on the ground, on the leaves, on the trees, or anywhere else. And these worms, because of sparrows, their population remain under control. They are the ones who eat other worms and parasites and other creatures down below in the soil. And because sparrows were not there, all these creatures, they had a open ground, so to say, and they ate up all the seeds that were sown or whatever was under the soil, as a result of which the grain output or yield reduced drastically and people starved. In 2 years, this was proved, and this campaign had to be abandoned with great losses. Great losses that took almost 7 years to recoup. The simple sparrow. And this, as you know, or as you can see, was the result of half knowledge being dangerous, and dangerous to the extent that it came so near to wipe out a whole civilization. In the next episode, we will apply some ancient wisdom test to know whether the knowledge is adequate or it is half knowledge, whether it is safe or it is dangerous, whether it should be put into practice or kept on the back burner. Namaskar.